So good evening all. Ira Epstein, and here we are on Tuesday evening, the 19th of July, 2022, getting on right now at about 6:30 p.m. Central Time. First announcement. I travel back to Chicago tomorrow. It's because I'm coming from Montana, which I love, by the way. It's a good part of the day trip to get to the airport, to get on the plane, to fly back to Chicago, fight the traffic, to get back down into the city, and so on. So there will not be, I know this already, there's not going to be the normal end of the day update. I'll pass on it and we'll get back to normal Thursday morning, okay? That's just the way it's going to be. Sorry, but I've done my best to do these updates for you the whole time I've been here, which is a nice long time. I love it, and I'm feeling better, but my voice still breaks from time to time from that COVID, unfortunately. So, I wrote last Sunday night to my paid subscribers, and I've made mention of it in the updates, that I've been looking for a bump in the markets. The reason is, you've got the Bank of Japan coming up tomorrow night. You've got the European Central Bank monetary decision coming up Thursday. We have our Fed decision coming up the week after. In addition, the chart action was straight down, and it looked like it needed to correct. And I saw this so many markets, one after the other, the stock indices for certain. I have been pointing out, if you've watched my updates, and certainly my paid subscribers have seen how I have been saying, hey, you're in sideways action in the stock indices. You're caught in a narrowing of Bollinger Bands. You're going to get false breakout moves. If they really are true, terrific. I don't know. You'll notice that Google is now at a whole new price level. We've seen the stock split. You're seeing a bunch of events take place here that are going to make the markets very interesting. But remember, it's July 19th. Going into central banks, you want to be a bit careful on everything. So when we look at the chart action on JP Morgan, I'll finish it up right here this week, and then we'll move to another chart. But once we got the bank earning out of the way, this market gave you the pop, and that's what I was looking for. Same thing here. When you open the chart up, higher high, lower low. When we come over to the moving averages, higher high, lower low, same thing. And where you're stuck? You're stuck at the 18-day average. It's not as though you're in a trend. You're drifting sideways. I did my darn best to show you and prepare you that you get false moves whenever you get these narrow Bollinger Bands. This is so typical. So here, 2 days ago, you had the breakout attempt to the downside. Do you think you suckered in new shorts? Probably. Within 48 hours, they're severely underwater. When you narrow in these bands, you get false moves until you get a real breakout. It's too soon. That's my point. I don't think you're getting it just yet. Then we get to the momentum here on the slow stochastic reading. And when we take a look at this reading, and I'll just take it so you can see the 80 level. You hit the band, you're not overbought, oversold, momentum up, no trend, bias up. There's nothing to do. AMC. I have to tell you, and you know it, I was telling all of you back here, I thought the market was going to bottom going into the summer. You don't want to be short anymore. I made those statements. They're there on YouTube. They're there in my paid subscriber videos. I think I did a nice call. Not that the market has gone up dramatically, but it has gone up 70% from these lows. I didn't say that you had to go long. I said you can't be short anymore. Huge difference between the two. Now, I'm still not convinced that this company is in good shape. I think that once we get through the summer, the vultures are going to circle this and put it back into trouble. The good news is for them, they do have a bankroll, they have money, and they've got to figure out their new business model. The existing business model simply isn't good. Even in normal times, the business model, forget COVID, isn't good. Something has to be done. Is it going to be events that take place? In other words, show more fights, show more sporting events, show more concerts. They've tried that. It does work. They have to do more. Ballets. I can go on and on. There's something that's going to happen here, and whatever that event is, I don't know. In Apple, I've been looking for resistance at the upper Bollinger Band, but it's an embedded reading. So while I looked for the rally and it's failing, until you lose that embedded reading, you don't want to be playing the short side. I am not saying that you're buying the Bollinger Band, but I'm saying you are taking positions off against it, and on good breaks, you're buying, popping out into this whole area. They're going to come out with their new phones. People are going to buy them. Ira's going to be one of the first if they'll let me get in line to do it. I want my 14. I've got a 10. I was looking at it today going, it is time. But I typically let 2 models go by me before I buy my new one. It's time for me. In Disney, okay, it's coming alive. It's gone in no time at all. In what? 4 days. From the lower Bollinger Band to the upper. Remember I said you get into these whipsaw areas, which is a narrowing of the Bollinger Band like that. And I gave you the scenario. Think of this as a bottle on your stove, wine ideally, full with a cork. It melts. The cork and the liquid keeps pushing against the opening here. Eventually it's going to break out one way or the other. But in the process, you can get whipsawed back and forth. That's where you're at on it. In XLF, it's identical. Lower band, upper band. Just what I've been teaching you and telling you. I'd avoid these markets right now. XLA, same thing. Lower band to upper band. I don't see a trend trade in that. I see you caught in Bollinger Bands with false breakout moves. Same thing in XSD. I know you're going to tell me, oh, Ira, you're not right. Come on, this market's going to break out. Sure it is. I'm going to stick with what I say. You're not embedded. You're at the upper Bollinger Band. I'm not bearish. I'm just not bullish. I don't want to trade them. Now, you're doing the same thing in home builders. We're going to get home sales tomorrow morning. Let's see how that does. You saw starts today were real ugly in the marketplace. In XLE, the energy, you went to the lower band. I expect to go to the upper band and fail. Back and forth in here. That's all that I'm looking for. Not a breakout one way or the other. Next, gold. Gold is still bearish until the red line, which is at 8.99, you see that, closes over 21. I still look for this market to work itself lower, and I'm expecting that the pros are selling rallies, looking for that to occur. GDX, no, I told my traders to avoid this. In fact, I told them to avoid all the miners completely on this. You're starting to lose the embedded reading. It's different than gold. Copper lost the embedded reading. Not yesterday, but today. Today's the day you could no longer be short. Time to evacuate any short positions you had on and just call it a day. Let somebody else now take the rest of it over. Once you lose that embedded reading, you've got a problem. AGG, I'm just looking for narrowness in the Bollinger Bands, not a trend. I do see the markets in an uptrend. I get it. Wouldn't matter. I also recognize that you're sideways in those Bollinger Bands. UUP. So we've gone, I guess we can put it like that, from the high down back to the 18-day average. But what happened? You lost yesterday the embedded reading. If you lose the embedded reading and you close yesterday at 28.70, you're looking to get back to the 18-day average. I'm still looking for that to occur. FXE, you finally lost your embedded reading. This is also important. Yesterday was the day to cover all shorts, in my humble opinion. And I'm looking for the 18-day average to be hit in short order, and that's where I'm at. I'll tell you another market that I'm looking at real hard for myself. I don't mind sharing it. I wonder if you put some throwaway money, as I call it, long term at Twitter. Now that the court has said that in October the case is going to move forward against Mr. Musk, it may never move forward. These things have a way of getting settled before all that takes place. I don't think Musk has a chance. I think that he has to buy the company. I'm not saying it's going to be 54.20, but it probably is close to a 5 in front of it. And if I'm wrong, how low can Twitter go on its own? Can it go to 35, 33? Probably. That's my guess. Something like that. Am I right on this? Nah. This is called throwaway. This has nothing to do with charting, but I think there could be a 20% pop, 25% pop, and that interests me. I'm Ira Epstein. I do want to remind you about one more thing, and that is my all-new Bollinger Band course. Come on, folks. You hear me talk about this to you all the time. Learn how to do this on your own. It's a combination of moving averages, the Bollinger Band, and the slow stochastic. The three together, in my opinion, I want to label my with quotes, give you an edge over people. When the market's embedded, you know that if it's bullish embedded, you're buying, bearish embedded, you're selling, and when you lose it, you know, hey, momentum often turns before price, and you have an idea where the market is headed, but it's telling you to come out of a trend trade. So important. How I teach this is with 13 videos, and it's going to show you from square one, right A to Z, what to do, how to do it. It doesn't end there though, because the videos are going to be using, just because they're videos, older data. So with the course, I give you limited access to my morning ETF and subscriber videos, so you can see the day-to-day application that I do with this to make it, if you will, apply for traders. How do you get to this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com, and under the word education, it's all laid out there for you. You can call my staff, or you can take your cursor to the top of this video. An icon will appear. Just give it a click and away you go.